Hi, everybody. This is Meg Hansen, and I'm doing a Facebook Live after a really, really long time. And so I hope that everybody's been doing well over the past couple of months. I just checked to see what time I posted on this page. That was in June, so I do have quite a lot to say about what I've been doing, and hopefully, if you're also online right now, you can leave a message telling me what you've been up to and how you're feeling post the 2022 election, and how things went for the center right in Vermont. So, as I hope you all know, that in March I took over as president of the Ethan Allen Institute. So, the Ethan Allen Institute, or EAI, is a think tank. It's a 501(c)(3), so a public policy research and educational nonprofit organization based in Vermont. It was founded in 1993 by John McLaury. I'm sure you've seen a lot of his commentaries. He writes at least two a month, and it's widely published everywhere. So EAI really was his brainchild. And Rob Roper, you've seen his commentaries as well. He was the president for the last 9 years, and I succeeded him in March. So, what have I been doing? I've been not on social media. Well, this is basically, we've been working on rebuilding the organizational infrastructure of our think tank. So I was hired because I presented a 5 year strategic vision about where I see this institution going and how it can help middle class Vermonters, working Vermonters, and Vermont families. But what I quickly realized is that in order to achieve, or at least be in a position to achieve, this strategic agenda, we need to have a complementary organizational infrastructure that can support it. And so, whether it's rebuilding the website or creating a brand new foundations program or a grant writing program where we reach out to charities and other foundations to expand our revenue base, our donor base, and who we reach out to. These are kind of back end things, things that you do when you're trying to sort of rejuvenate or rethink an organization, and that's not really sort of front facing. I haven't had enough time really to write commentaries or do interviews or podcasts, things that I really enjoy doing and I really want to do. Um, not that I'm not enjoying what this aspect of it. I guess I just I didn't anticipate it, but it's important. It's necessary. And one of the things that I'm sure you all know, as you're involved with Vermont politics, is that the absence of institutions is a major disadvantage. You can have great ideas and you can even have good candidates, good leaders, but if you don't have that organizational base, that organizational infrastructure, um, it really complicates things, because then every time a candidate is running for office, he or she has to build that with their campaign, and especially if it's a statewide campaign, you're basically creating that, or at least you have to create that if you want to be successful. So, on the candidates who run as Republicans, Governor Phil Scott has done a great job of doing that. He has a campaign infrastructure that works for him and that translates, of course, into successful campaigns. But then it really falls onto every individual candidate to make it on their own. And if you don't have multiple millions at your disposal, it becomes very hard. And any candidate who's run for office in Vermont knows that. So, thinking long term, I think the importance of having a solid institution, which is not just about ideas or policy research, but basically when we have, and what do I mean by organizational infrastructure? I mean, if you have the technological tools, if you have um, an outreach program. So how do we reach Vermonters of different political persuasions, sure, but also different demographics, people who are traditionally not engaged with policy or politics, people in rural areas, younger people, or just people who have removed themselves from the political process of the political arena because they think their vote doesn't count or that it's not worth it. How do we reach out to them? So you need to have a program or strategy. Yeah, strategy fine, but actual programs to have successful public outreach, educational programs, solutions for what the supermajority puts forward. That's one thing that we all learned from election night this week is that it's not enough to just say that, the left is doing this and that's bad. We need to have our own message, our own compelling message. We need to show competence and a certain amount of charisma as well. And I think that the candidates who were able to show that, who have a record of um, being very competent and connecting with the concerns of American families and working Americans. Those are the candidates who had like blowout victories and they did really well. So we need to have that here in Vermont. And I think that some people look at the political party and say maybe the political parties should be these institutions. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that what I can do and what our team here at EAI is doing is giving that alternative. I mean, it's the more institutions you have, the better. But this one especially is that what we're looking at younger Vermonters, we're looking at passionate people, people who have a record of competence, merit, who understand, who really understand the complexities of a state like Vermont and who are not in denial about the challenges, not only on the left but also on the right. So that's the kind of institution that I've been focused on building along with the team here that we have. Um, and the idea is to grow our team and get more people on board, either as a board of director advising us and guiding us or as a staff member. And that's that's very complicated and it's been a learning process, but I'm enjoying it. I think that, I see it as two hats, put one hat on and that is the researcher, the thinker, and the writer. And then the other hat on is more executive function where, okay, here's an organization that we're going to rethink and rebuild. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to create a formidable institution, one that attracts passionate people, principled people, people who are ready for the fight, people who are competent, capable, and want to do it, not out of cynicism or an axe to grind, but really feel like, okay, this is my state, I love it. Vermont is still part of America, and this is our message, and it does resonate. And we're not apologetic about our conservative values. We're not apologetic about the solutions that we put forward. Those kinds of people. Our idea is to create an institution that attracts like-minded people, and so that's what I've been doing, which is why I've not been on social media much, or really done any of the kind of exciting. No, that's not fair to say this is not exciting, but more, more exciting to have, if you think about a podcast or reaching out to people, talking to Vermonters, having really engaging intellectual conversations. I mean, that's so much fun. Or writing about issues. I love writing. Writing is therapy for me. So writing about issues that I care about, so kind of putting a pause on that and doing the work that needs to be done, not that hasn't been done for many years. And so that's really what I've been doing. And I was feeling bad about not posting at all or not doing anything at all. But it was just kind of taking stock of what I want for my life and how to make a balance, work life balance, and trying to understand the country that we live in, the moment that we're in, and how can I contribute the most? How can I be how can I serve my state in this moment? That's something that I've been sort of navigating. And it's not necessarily about running for office. I mean, it's not about, okay, what's the next office you can run for? I mean, look at Beto O'Rourke. He's run for everything: president, U.S. Senate, governor, and lost it all. I don't know what he's going to do next. But see, this kind of, he's not even a career politician. He was a politician for a while. He's more like a career candidate. Um, I don't know. I don't see how that's really making a difference. So, trying to understand where each of us fits into this and what we can do, because things are changing a lot. Um, it's such a dynamic time, and who knows what tomorrow holds. And so, just trying to figure all that out is is basically what's preoccupied my time.